Hey guys, what's up? Ruben here from the Midnight Garage. So as you guys all know, my Toyota Syrah has sustained a lot of damage and I'm jumping through a lot of hoops right now behind the scenes to get this all fixed insurance wise, but this all reminded me of one thing, and that is my Honda Beat. For those who don't know, my Honda Beat was stolen earlier this year, and back then I went through a similar ordeal, and I figured I didn't make video of that. I was in the middle of making a video about that, but I never finished that. So yeah, that's what this video is going to be about. First things first. Finding out that your car is stolen. This is a really strange feeling. I went out to pick up my car, and when I arrived I noticed that my car simply wasn't there. I did not have any fixed locations to park on my car, so I simply thought that I parked my car somewhere else. But when I started checking some other possible locations where I could have parked the car, you slowly come to the conclusion that your car is in fact stolen. And let me tell you, that is not a good feeling. I immediately went to the police, and they simply told me that they didn't have time right now and that I had to make an appointment to make a statement later on because they were way too busy. So a few days later I went back to describe everything that had happened, and on top of that they also needed some special details, such as the amount of keys you had for the car, if you still owned the pink slip, if the car was financed, which garages worked on the car, and some other information. After that, they then marked the car as stolen and gave me a few documents that I had to give to my insurance. I had already notified the insurance, but as soon as I got the documents from the police, they could start their own investigation. I had to give pretty much the same information to the insurance agency that I had already given to the police, and they said they were going to look for the car for 30 days. If they were able to retrieve the car within these 30 days, the car would be inspected, all damage related to the theft would be repaired, and then I would get my car back. If they were not able to find the car in 30 days, then the ownership of the car transferred from me to the insurance agency, and they would pay me the market value of the car. Then they once again hired a few companies that would then help in tracking down the car. So if you think this would be a case of simply communicating with the insurance agency and the police, then you would be wrong. You would be very, very, very wrong. Now, they did not tell me which company did what, so for me it was very confusing, but I will still try my best to explain what everybody did. Let's start with the police. The police did not do much after the car was marked as stolen. Because the car was marked as stolen, the car would automatically pop up if it was scanned by one of the automatic license plate scanners installed on police cars, and then they would go out and impound the car. They would not actively go out and look for the car even after getting tips on where the car would be located, because apparently they had other things to do. Next up we have Brightmaven. Brightmaven was hired by my insurance agency to locate the car. At this time I had already told everyone to keep an eye out for my Honda Beat, and as soon as somebody had a tip on a possible location of the car, then I had to give that information to Brightmaven. On top of that, I believe they used certain algorithms to try to locate the car online, so if anyone would sell the car online or if they would part it out, then it would hopefully pop up on the radar of Brightmaven. Then we had the CED Group. They were trying to locate a Fiat. Yeah, I don't know what went wrong there either, but it took a while to convince them to look for a Honda Beat instead. Next to trying to locate the car, the CED Group also had to evaluate the car, but a little bit more on that later. And then finally we have my insurance agency. They pretty much outsourced everything, and they were waiting for updates from either the police, Brightmaven or CED Group. It was not necessary to give them any information on the investigation, as they were not actively taking part in this. It may seem pretty simple who did what at this point, but let me assure you that it was not clear at all at the time, and I ended up sending all the information to all the parties all the time, which meant that I spent a whole lot of time doing this.
Onze medewerkers zijn in gesprek. Een ogenblik geduld alstublieft. Al onze medewerkers zijn in gesprek. Een ogenblik geduld alstublieft.
As you can imagine, this was very tedious and took up a whole lot of time, especially when you find out that you don't have to send everything to every party that was involved. Now let's talk more about the market value of the car. This was another aspect that took up a whole lot of time. Usually this is pretty simple. They just grab some prices of similar models that are for sale in Holland at the time, and then they come up with a value based on that. But as you can guess, it's not that simple when it comes to a Honda Beat. The Honda Beat is a very rare car, with less than 10 actually driving around in Holland Holland, so in order to come up with a price, I had to show them how much I paid for the car and how much I paid for everything else for the car. So I had to show them receipts of everything ranging from the import costs to the washer fluid and everything in between. Then I also had to find similar cars abroad, and based on that they would calculate a price. The expert that was hired had absolutely no knowledge of JDM cars and originally wanted to cut the value of the car in half because it was right-hand drive. It took a lot of time to explain to him that JDM cars are collector items and the more obscure models like the Honda Beat were only made in a right-hand drive configuration, so if you were to buy one you do not have the option to buy a left-hand drive version. Finally, he did come up with a price that was fair, but it was at the lowest possible price he could give the car in the spectrum of fair pricing. As you all know, this happened a couple of months ago, and if you go through my video history you will not find a video of me telling you that they found the Honda Beat. That means that after 30 days they closed the investigation and they paid out. The police still has marked the car as stolen, however, so if the car pops up anywhere it will still be impounded and transferred to the insurance agency. Normally they will then sell the car on a special auction where car traders can buy cars, but since this Honda Beat is a very rare car, they did give me the option to buy it back first. So that means that if this car pops up like 2 years from now, I will still be able to buy this car for the price that they paid me. And even though they said that this will most likely never happen, it is still a little bit of hope that maybe in the future I can still continue my Honda Beat project. Now, this was of course my own experience, and the way things are handled if your own car is stolen might vary, but I'm still going to give you a couple of tips. First up, make sure that you keep receipts of everything, also the purchase of the car. Even handwritten receipts were good enough as long as they were signed by both parties. So if you buy a second-hand car or if you buy a nice set of second-hand wheels, you can still get the receipts. This is especially important for all you guys who like to modify cars just like me, because all those things you add to your car adds up a whole lot of value. Secondly, make sure that your car gets valued officially from time to time, because that saves a whole lot of time in the process. Finally, I have talked with both the police and the CED Group about preventing your car from being stolen, and they both said that that's very hard to do. If a professional outfit wants to steal your car, they will do so regardless of the security measures you took. Based on their experience, things like alarms, GPS trackers and wheel locks might help a little bit, but they won't prevent your car from being stolen 100%. They both did say, however, that a Bearlock was the most effective option to prevent your car from being stolen. A Bearlock basically locks the gearbox in position, and according to their test it is the most difficult to circumvent. So if you're looking for the best option to prevent your car from being stolen, look into something like that. And that pretty much sums up everything. Now I do want to say thank you to everybody who tried their best in trying to get our Honda Beat back. We've got so many messages from you guys, so many tips and so many leads, and even though it didn't help in the end because we didn't get our Honda Beat back, we still appreciate all the effort. Now I do want to say that, you know, this is just my experience and your experience might vary, but at least now with all this information you know at least a little bit on what to do. And yeah, the next video is probably going to be the whole insurance thing related to the Syrah, so that's kind of a similar video. And yeah, that's everything I wanted to say. Now, usually I say I hope this video was helpful, and yeah, I hope this video will never be helpful to you, because that means that your car never gets stolen. So, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.
Al onze medewerkers zijn in gesprek. Een ogenblik geduld alstublieft.